I'm Lorelei Olk, and I'm from Sayville High School.
What inspired you to choose Rubens, Santoro, Grand Canal, Venice?
I thought in Venice it's used for water is for practical reasons, used for transportation, and the painting was very tranquil and serene, and I thought the juxtaposition between that and the way Sandy affected everyone is so destructive. I thought that was interesting and a cool way to compare them both.
Good. Tell us about the moment that you were chosen to be an exhibiting artist at the Heckscher Museum.
I walked up to my teacher's art classroom, and the two of them were just looking at me like, hey, and I didn't get the email yet, so they told me. It was pretty exciting.
How old were you when you realized that you were an artist?
I've always been doing art since I was really little, so I've kind of just been drawing and doing artistic stuff my entire life.
Now, Superstorm Sandy affected us all collectively, but each of us have our own stories to tell. What part of the storm do you feel will stay with you forever, and why?
Probably the night it was starting to get really bad. My mom was yelling at me and my brother to run to the car and get all your stuff and pack it up, and I remember running out and the water coming up on the driveway, and it was just really intense and a little scary, so it was pretty crazy.
And what happened the next day when you came home?
By then the water had receded, but there was everything in the downstairs was wet, and there was water in the basement, and the whole street was kind of just trashed, basically.
Yeah. You chose shuttered windows to frame your work. How did you come to that powerful decision?
I knew I wanted to have the canvases offset, and so I'd probably have to make a custom frame for that anyway. But I thought the shutters would be a nice touch of how the storm was so destructive, and looking out into the storm, you can't really help what happens.
If you could be standing right next to your art at the Heckscher, what would you like to say to the observer about your piece?
I'd probably just ask them if they had a similar experience, or what their experience was like with the storm, if they related at all.
What do you think your profession will be, and why did you choose it?
I want to be an art teacher, and I was really inspired just by all my art teachers in the past, and kind of want to be like them.
So you must have an art teacher who really did inspire you, and who is that person?
I had Mrs. Urso in 6th and 8th grade, and I had her as a volleyball coach as well. And Mr. Hammer in high school, they're both very supportive, and they always have awesome ideas, and they always are willing to help, and they're just great.
What words of advice would you give to younger kids or students your age who wish to get into art but never experienced it?
Definitely try it. It may be scary or hard at first, but the more you practice, the better you'll get and the more fun you'll have, because you'll be more experienced, and just let your imagination go.
Well, thank you for the interview.
No problem.